for all of us here, thank you so much for watching. Tonight and always, we're here for you. Good night.
KUAM TV8, home of the Milan Cortina Olympics. Coverage begins February 6th, 2026. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
On KUAM News Primetime.
Calls to protect Chamorro lands grow louder as island residents urge a veto on controversial land bills. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with their message to the governor and what's at risk.
2 weeks into the shutdown, and the gridlock in Washington is already causing real hardship here at home as Guam leaders work to fill the gaps. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the story coming up. Coverage of Monday's discussion with 3 of the 5 applicants eyeing the role of GDOE superintendent. The candidates address pressing concerns facing the department coming up. Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Thanks for ending your day with us. Well, community members are making their voices heard, urging Governor Lou Leon Guerrero to veto 2 controversial land bills they say threaten both the environment and public health. Mitsuki Hirayama has the story.
At a community care event Monday in Hagåtña, residents gathered at a Siga coffee shop to write personal letters to the governor, asking her to reject Bill 7 and 135. The event was led by local advocacy group Pritehi Guahan. Bill 7 would allow limestone mining on 60 acres of Chamorro land trust property in Fadian. Bill 135 would convert the Guam International Country Club golf course into a solar farm.
We're going through different tips for writing, asking folks to identify their main points, state clearly why this is an issue that's important to them, whether they are directly impacted community members of GIGO, and why it's important to them that leaders do everything they can to protect our aquifer and protect lands that are held in public trust.
Muñeca Flores with Pritehi Guahan says mining at Fadian risks harming ancient limestone forests and the aquifer, while the proposed solar project could introduce hazardous materials like cadmium near Guam's primary water source.
Guam has a long history of contamination, and we have serious issues of water contamination and vulnerabilities to our aquifer, and those continue to grow every single day.
Attendees also brought cases of bottled water to donate to GIGO residents affected by diogen contamination, underscoring ongoing concerns about environmental safety.
It's not fair to the people that it was kept secret. Our leaders let us down, our agencies let us down, and this is not something new too. There's an institutional problem of silence and a lack of transparency.
These personal letters will be hand-delivered to Adelup with copies to the legislature this week. In response, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says she is still reviewing both bills and is aware of the concerns raised by community members on all sides.
I'm aware about the concerns that have been brought up by the community, both sides of the argument. And so I'm looking at that, of course, considering all comments and messages and so forth, but I haven't really decided yet.
Supporters argue that revenue generated from the bills would help the long-standing backlog of homestead lots for Chamorro families. The governor has until this Saturday, October 18th, to take action on the bills. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Well, it's been nearly 2 weeks since the federal government shut down, with lawmakers in Washington still deadlocked over this year's fiscal budget. And here on Guam, families are already feeling the impact from furloughed federal employees to those relying on programs like WIC and SNAP. And as frustration grows, both the governor and Guam's congressmen say they're doing what they can to keep those programs going. Nevaeh Anderson has more.
It's nearly 2 weeks into the federal government shutdown, and there's still no deal amongst Washington lawmakers in sight. And Governor Lou Leon Guerrero says her administration is working to soften the blow for local families caught in the middle of the federal standoff, as it turns from political gridlock to personal hardship for many.
Not getting their paychecks, not being able to buy their groceries, not being able to pay their bills. It's just a horrible situation, and I'm just hoping that Congress will get to their senses and pass either a continuing resolution or the budget, because people are struggling out there.
Currently, Leon Guerrero's administration is combing through remaining federal grants to keep essential programs funded for as long as possible.
We're working very closely with our government agencies to see what can continue to be paid through previous federal grants that are still, in our accounts that we can move and pay these people. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Guam Delegate Congressman James Moylan stated in a press release that his office is focused on delivering 3 things: compassion, clarity, and coordination. As part of his One Guam approach, Moylan is also working with agencies like the Guam Department of Labor, Guam Power Authority, and Guam Waterworks Authority to prepare relief measures such as payment deferments, waived fees, and temporary suspension of disconnections. Moylan's guidance also reaches beyond utilities. His office says homeowners should contact their loan servicers for possible payment flexibility, and renters are encouraged to work with landlords on temporary grace periods. HUD-VASH and Section 8 vouchers remain active, but tenants must still pay their share of the rent. Local telecom providers GTA, Docomo Pacific, and IT&E are also offering payment extensions to help prevent service disruptions. Moylan adds that most federal employees will receive back pay once the shutdown ends, though contractors may not. He urges affected workers to contact his office for assistance and reminds them that furloughs are temporary, not terminations. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
And here at home, the Department of Public Health and Social Services confirms Guam's Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC, remains fully operational despite the ongoing federal government shutdown. All island clinics continue to provide food benefits, nutrition, education, breastfeeding support, and referral services to eligible families. DPHSS thanks the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration for quickly identifying local funds earlier this month to sustain those benefits when federal dollars were delayed, ensuring no family went without support. WIC clients are reminded their October benefits remain redeemable at all authorized vendors. You can also track your balance and updates through the free Easy WIC app, available on the Apple App Store and Google Play. Well, KUAM News confirms that Guam Regional Transit Authority Special Projects Officer Richard Ibanez has been arrested and charged with terrorizing. Following a firearm-related incident earlier this month at the GRTA offices located within the Department of Public Works compound. According to police, on October 4th, a terrorizing complaint was filed at the Central Precinct Command after an argument in the office turned alarming. Investigators say Ibanez removed a holstered firearm from his backpack, causing fear among staff who believed he was capable of using it. GPD's Criminal Investigations Section followed up on the case, interviewing the victim and a witness before locating Ibanez at his residence. His registered firearms were confiscated and he was booked and confined. Adelup confirms Ibanez has been placed on administrative leave and the case has been forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General for disposition. Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Every day, there's something new to discover. Fresh styles, fresh finds, and fresh ways to make your home and family shine. So what's new at Kmart Guam? Ready to assemble furniture, stylish, affordable, and ready to take home today. Dream big with our new selection of mattresses, comfort you can count on. Upgrade your home with the latest appliances, arriving now. Step out in style with new arrivals in men's and women's fashion. Fresh looks for every season. What's new? Everything. And it's all waiting for you only at Kmart Guam.
This is a bag. But for Steve, this bag gives him food cred. Because now everyone knows that when they have that craving, or they're just looking for the perfect deal, well, they just need to follow Steve.
Follow him all the way to the new McTerry Deluxe at McDonald's. It's an all-beef patty smothered with teriyaki sauce topped with lettuce and tomato on a sesame seed bun. For a limited time, price and participation may vary.
Welcome back to Primetime. We continue our coverage of Monday's discussion with 3 of the 5 applicants vying to become the next Guam Department of Education superintendent, all current or former deputy superintendents who shared common ground on several key issues.
From teacher recruitment and retention to long-term support for aging facilities, Guam Department of Education Superintendent applicants Erica Cruz, Joe Sanchez, and Dr. Barbara Adamas laying out how they plan to tackle these challenges if selected. Candidates Dr. Judith Wanpat and Kenneth Perez were unable to attend Monday's press conference due to prior commitments. On teacher shortages, the 3 shared similar views, Sanchez stressing the value of mentorship and local partnerships.
Students who are currently at the University of Guam, right? So now we can actually support students who are currently students who are trying to major in education, and we intend to expand that as well to the Guam Community College.
Cruz echoing that approach, adding the need for off-island recruitment and incentives for hard-to-fill roles.
You talked about hard-to-fill positions such as special education, English language learning, science and math, right? These are positions that are critical. And so we need to provide incentives for these critical positions.
Adamas drawing from her experience as a teacher, emphasizing peer support.
If you don't have teachers training teachers, teachers being able to voice their concerns to other teachers and not voicing concerns to administrators, fearing the possible risk of repercussion or judgment, teachers are what will help to keep you staying in the profession.
On facilities, Cruz called for dedicated long-term funding and partnerships with DODEA. Adamas highlighted the need for assessments of the 18 schools not undergoing refurbishment, while Sanchez agreed with both. The Guam Education Board is set to meet on October 21st when a decision on the next superintendent could be made.
Well, today the island celebrated Arbor Day 2025 in Inalahan with the theme Green Spaces, Shared Places, Enhancing Our Forests Together. Hosted by the Inalahan Mayor's Office and the Department of Agriculture's Forestry Soil Resources Division, the event brought together community volunteers, first responders, and environmental groups to plant 15 native and fruit trees at the Gadaos Playground and Park. Mayor Anthony Chargaloff thanked local agencies and volunteers for their teamwork, calling the event a success for both the people and the planet. In addition to tree planting, the Forestry Division donated educational magazines to Southern High School and presented smoke alarm kits to the American Red Cross, part of Guam's wildfire prevention efforts. Forestry Chief Christine Farron reminded island residents, quote, "Plant your tree today and help us convert fire-prone invasive grasslands to forested lands." Arbor Month continues with outreach events across the island, including a Halloween-themed tree planting on October 25th. For a full schedule or to get involved, visit KUAM.com. And on Monday, Magalahan Hurao Academy Charter School commemorated Indigenous Peoples Day with a wave near the Chief Kapua statue in Hagåtña. Families gathering to show pride, strength, and unity, standing strong for generations to come. Meanwhile, October 13 also marked Columbus Day, a federal holiday. Recently, President Donald Trump signing a proclamation declaring Columbus Day, calling the explorer, quote, "an American hero." Reflecting on the day's meaning, Hurao founder Anne Marie Arceo shared her perspective, saying in part, quote, In our peoplehood, some celebrate one or the other or both Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. A day like today gives us a chance to recognize our shared history from different perspectives. It's a time to appreciate exploration and cultural exchange while also honoring the strength, heritage, and contributions of Indigenous peoples. The one positive aspect that we can promote with our children is understanding, respect, forgiveness, and a sense of unity in our community.
Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a cliffside view from Marble Cave in Manilao.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Win one championship, you're celebrated. Win twice, they call you a hero. 3 times, they say words like legend and dynasty. 4, 5, 6 titles, they'll say enough is enough. But when you've won it all 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of Ram trucks. Ram, 7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Now, for a limited time, get our largest pizza at our lowest price. Just $9.99 for our classic New York-style pizza. It's 30% larger than our large, and at only $9.99 for carryout. Don't wait. Order now at your Island Pizza Hut.
Everyone loves football, especially this time of year. Rain or shine, lining up, hitting with your friends, and finding the end zone is fun at any age. And this year's Faja Outlaws went undefeated in the Guam National Youth Football Federation, a perfect 9-0 to win the championship for the Mana division for 7 to 9-year-olds. And believing in the value of youth development, and as a former sports reporter, Senator Chris Barnett happily gave the spotlight, some certificates, and some classic malfunction love to some of the smallest warriors to take the gridiron on their big accomplishment. It's an achievement that lasts a lifetime and will forever be part of island sports history.
We just wrapped up a really competitive youth football season, and we're here today to recognize the Faja Outlaws! Be back! That's it. The Faja Outlaws went undefeated this year in the Manha division, beating the Southern Cowboys 41-25 in the championship game, and it was a great game. You know, to go undefeated in any season is an awesome accomplishment, and of course that's why we want to recognize all the players and the coordinators and the coaches with Faja Outlaws. But before we do that, could we also give a big round of applause to all of the parents and the families? Whether it's mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, Nino, Nina, primo, prima, the guardians even. We know that, it's like I always say, if your kid or someone in your family is in sports, it's like you're in sports too. So one more time for all of the families
For the kids, man, putting in the work at that age, from 7 to 9 years old, it was really tough keeping their attention, but you know, they bought into our system, and we were able to, not only win the championship, but go undefeated.
What makes it so much fun?
What football makes fun for me is I get to play with like my friends and teammates who like I don't really know, but I get to know them throughout the season. To play with people and to score touchdowns and have fun.
Hey man, they motivated us to keep coaching, you know. They drove us to, or they gave us that drive, you know, that extra push to keep, you know, pushing for that undefeated feat, you know.
What do you like most about playing football? What's the most fun thing?
Running.
The running? Okay, do you play offense or defense?
Defense.
Defense? You like to tackle? All right.
How I feel, it feels good. It feels good to be undefeated champs.
And again, to all the families, the coordinators, the coaches, thank you very much for your support of the KUAM laws, of your support of our youth in sports. Very, very important to keep these kids busy and winning championships. So one more time, Viva KUAM Outlaws! Viva KUAM Outlaws! Viva KUAM!
Tamua is coming back to Guam. The UOG Endowment Foundation and Guam Comedy present the return of the comedy sensation Tamua with his Chee-Hoo Tour. One night only, Saturday, November 1st at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets are going fast at guamtime.net, so don't wait. Special thanks to our sponsors, the stations of choice broadcasting, the Guam Visitors Bureau, United Airlines, J&G, Yamaha, Townhouse, Matson, KUAM Communications, Trivision, Heineken, ASC Trust, BGIS, Advisors Unlimited, Western Resort, Docomo Pacific, Fruits, Raymond James, Bauman, Shoe and Black, IT&E, IP&E, Moylan's Insurance, and Pepsi. Get ready to laugh and celebrate and shout, Chee-Hoo!
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, One Love. When big minds with caring hearts get together, good things happen and change is brought about. Some truly exceptional young people had a meetup this past weekend, taking part in the first creative forum for this year's Giving Tuesday Spark Ambassadors program. A diverse mix of high schoolers from across public, private, and Dodea schools were accepted as this year's Sparkies, and the orientation says saw them get right to work, collaborating on ideas to directly make our island and their world a better place. We look for genuine passion and enthusiasm, and by that measurement, this cohort is shaping up to be as good as all of our Sparky teams in the past. So as their first icebreaker activity, the Sparkies got to work sketching their utopian visions of a society free of the ills that concern them. Their visions and solutions to get there were simply amazing.
Education for all, so literacy rates growing, and then acceptance for like whoever you are, no matter the gender.
We feel like there's so much dependence on technology, even though it's really beneficial to our generation. We feel like as it's advancing, we're becoming too dependent on it, that we aren't able to perform simple tasks and just simple things that we should be able to in order to prepare for like our future.
There's like these robots that collect trash from the ocean, so it's like there's dead fish, and then it's like recreating it to something good.
We believe that a big issue in Guam right now is homelessness, and so we really believe that everyone should have the right to housing. And then we put Giving Tuesday every day because we believe that the mentality and the love of Giving Tuesday should be extended throughout the whole world for every single day of our lives.
And then the bright colors that they're painting around the mural symbolize like having a sense of like community and like happiness, like working together to as ambassadors is to achieve during the program.
This is the 5th year the KUAM Care Force has sponsored the initiative, the first half of which sees the students create and organize community service activities for Giving Tuesday in December, then hit the streets and put their plans into action. Then next spring, they'll present their service ideas in our newscasts, in their own podcast, and in fun and interactive social media campaigns. So Guam, spoiler alert, look and listen for what our Sparkies produced this year. It's going to be amazing, it's going to blow your mind, and it's going to make a difference. Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, One Love. News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas, and the Guam Army National Guard. Live here, serve here. Hey guys, you guys are looking at me because that's the way YouTube works, and I'm looking at you, and we're all looking at each other wearing pink throughout the month of October to show our unwavering, unified solidarity for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We are educating people, we're showing our love, our support. We're also increasing advocacy for mammograms and for exams. Very, very important for men and women. And remember, Think Pink Day is coming up at KUAM, and that's very, very important to us. So thank you for spreading the love, everybody, throughout October and all year round because of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Well, you know what makes up the colors pink? The colors red and white. And the Red, White, and Brew event is something that Our Lady of Purification Parish in Maina does every year, and this year it's going to be on the 10th of November. It's on the church grounds, and make sure to check it out because it's a beer and wine tasting event that goes to benefit the Central Village, the church ground themselves, the parish. Wonderful people there. Really, really good event. I've covered this a few times. It is very, very fun and very, very important. All right, you know what else is coming up that I want you to get involved with? Another wonderful community event. It is story time. So story time is being held by the Lions leading up to, you know what's coming up after Halloween, right? Thanksgiving. So make sure to participate in Thanksgiving. You're going to learn about turkey. You're going to learn about the Pilgrims. You're going to learn about the Mayflower. Everything is super, super cool. And you can do this as a family. You can join on Zoom or go down to the Nieves M. Flores Memorial Public Library in Hagåtña, and you can participate alongside your kids. Super, super cool. I love story time and never get tired of saying that. And then I've been waiting all week to say this, but Sanchez, I am nobody special, but I am a proud, proud graduate of Simon Sanchez High School, and I love my school, as all Sharks do. And we have a Simon Sanchez and Toys for a Cause car meet. If you just provide a new unwrapped toy, you get into the car meet, and you are going to see car culture, because that's always been such a big part of who we are as Guamanians. We love our cars. Thank you, and shout out to Proline for putting this on, and thank you to my Sharks for continuing to do good community service. Let's roll right into birthdays. Okay, the month of October is almost about halfway done, and on this day, the 14th of October, Joe Garrido celebrates a birthday. So Joe, happy birthday to you. Please blow out all of those candles. Please share the cake with the people you love, because we are sending all of the birthday concern back to you. You get it back tenfold, man. Happy birthday to Joe Garrido, and we hope you had a fantastic Tuesday, a fantastic birthday, and stay awesome. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your primetime show. Thanks for watching. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus. Have a good evening.
Health, Home, and Lifestyle is brought to you by the Medical City, your trusted partner in health. Half a day, Guam. I'm Jason Salas here up in Dedido at the Northern Health Clinic, where they are getting your fellow Guamanians happy and healthy, giving education, giving treatment, and giving very, very sound advice how to live a happy island lifestyle. And that's what we do. And so welcome to another episode of Health, Home, and Lifestyle, where we show you how to live a healthy and happy island life. Here's what we got for you this week.
House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
I so look forward to recording on Zoom on Tuesdays because I get to hang out with Liz and Gina. They are downtown at RE/MAX Diamond Realty. Liz is finally here on island, and very, very fittingly, because ladies, I want to say happy Bosses Day. You guys run a wonderful brokerage down there and an agency, so like best to you.
Thank you.
What? Who's boss?
I didn't even realize. Yeah.
Well,
hey,
we
by the way, no one calls us boss, and if they do, I said, wait a minute. We work together. We're not bosses.
There you go. Well, we all work for the big boss upstairs, and the
Yes.
wonderful picture that both of you have over your right shoulder. Santa Maria and Catalan is looking out for all of us, certainly.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so that's kind of an interesting thing that we're talking about Bosses Day, because as kind of like, the head of an organization and everything, you have to make decisions, not thinking just, 2 hours ahead, possibly 2 years, 2 months, 2 decades ahead. And yes, once again, we're talking about estate planning and probate, everybody, because Gina brought up the fact that there is some legislation now that has been, what was it, Gina, somewhat like formalized by freshman Senator Shelley Calvo that you took an interest in.
Yeah. It actually passed in June, and that it became public law 38-13. And
There we
thanks,
are.
Jace. I think you do have a copy of it. But
Yep.
yes, if you could share that, and for anybody who wants to get a copy, you could certainly call our office, call Liz or myself, and we'll send you a copy. So recently, I had a friend of me. She lives in the States. She has a property here in Guam, and we all get to the point, no matter what age you are, we all get to the point where we actually want to tidy up our affairs, right? Get everything in order. And so she called and she said, Gina, I've got that piece of property and I want to, decide I'm finally ready to sign it off to my kids, and I want to know what to do. And she had heard of the life estate. She's well versed in real estate. So she knew that I could do this through a life estate, but I also have heard that there's other mechanisms that I could use. And so I looked into it, and that's a copy of the bill that I sent her. And Liz and I have discussed, possibly inviting Senator Shelley Calvo onto the program so that she could explain what brought this about and why she introduced this bill that has now become law. But we kind of just wanted to give you the fine points of it because we thought it was important enough. We're always trying to share with the community mechanisms that they could use to help themselves. Now, you can't prepare a deed yourself, definitely. You need an attorney, or you could go through a title company, order your title report, and then through the title company, you could get the deed prepared. And this would be the alternative to a life estate.
And like we talk about it all the time on this show, but like I'm an advertising major and I appreciate, good marketing and branding and concept development. The name of this concept, I mean, there is no ambiguity to what it does. It's literally says it's a transfer on death deed.
Yeah,
that's right. But there's a difference, though. We want to make sure with the life estate, it's a little different. It's like, Jason, I'm going to deed property to you while I'm alive. You don't get the property until I die.
That is the condition.
That's the condition. I could live on it, do whatever, but your name will be on the title only after my death. And that's what they refer to as the life estate. So that documentation, and we've had situations like that where they've transferred it, but it got complicated when the person they deeded to, and I've had that case, the person they deeded to passed away. So then they had to go back and make some changes. But just for clarity purposes, I could deed something to you. I keep it until I die. I occupy the home, and then when I pass on, then you can then the property goes to you directly.
The deed goes under your name, and then
The deed will be under your name. Period.
You may develop on it if regulations permit, or you can sell it. You can further transfer it, right?
That's right. But your name is on it, and you own it. I can occupy it until I pass. And this bill is a little different, right, Gina?
Yeah. So the difference between the life estate and the transfer on death, and for me, this is actually the biggest difference. And the thing that I think, if I needed to make this decision about my properties, I might actually use a transfer and death deed instead of a life estate. And this is the reason why. With the life estate, you for instance, I own the property under a life estate, and Liz will get ownership. So Liz's name is on the deed. It's under Gina Campos until my death, and then it transfers to Liz Duenas without going through probate. That's the life estate deed. If I decide I wanted to mortgage the property, or let's say I change my mind, let's say Liz isn't my favorite partner anymore, and I want to transfer it to John Duenas instead. So I decide, okay, you know what? I'm taking Liz's name off. And you know, my mom did this to us quite a bit, so I know I can see this happening. Where
I'm sure there's been like a few like TV shows that have formed on that very premise too.
Yeah. You know, you do the life estate, but you change your mind.
Yeah.
Or you perhaps decide you want to sell it. I would need Liz's signature on anything. If I get a mortgage, she has to agree. If I change my mind and I want the property back, and I want her to give it back, you know, I want to terminate her name, she has to sign off saying, okay, you could have it back. If I want to transfer it to somebody else other than Liz, she needs to acknowledge it because she has interest in that property under the life estate. My understanding on the transfer on death deed is that it's revocable. I can change my mind. I can change it anytime I please during my life. So until I pass, I still have the ability to change that deed. So, and that's, for me, that was the big difference. I said, wow, you know, that's a tremendous asset to continue to have, that I can actually change my mind. So for instance, if the person I transferred it to passes ahead of me,
right,
then all I need to do is, okay, I changed my mind. They're gone. It's too bad, you know, my intent was that, but they're gone. So I could just do another deed and transfer it to another person. But in that deed itself, you do have a primary beneficiary and a secondary. So I'm sure you could address it that way. But the more important part is I can change my mind. It's revocable.
I thought you worked in his house.
Oh, I'm wherever he needs to fuel up. Oh, Cantina chicken burrito.
Thanks, Todd.
That's the way to do it.
You know what? Let me actually get something to wash that down with, please.
Yeah, I got you.
Easy. Appreciate it.
You've made a powerful enemy, Todd.
I didn't mean.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Go on a journey to discover true health and wellness. At the Medical City, we bring you expert care, cutting-edge treatments, and personalized wellness programs. From wellness checkups to relaxation retreats, nurture your well-being in a place of healing. Explore the Philippines. Experience the Medical City.
Was the intent for the 5 to eventually sell it so that they each have a share in the property proceeds, or was it to stay? Because if one person doesn't want to sell that property later, then all 4 are stuck. And I've seen that happen many a time.
Yeah.
Where the intent was they're each to share in the monetary value of what is given to them. But when they're stuck with one sibling that doesn't want to move it, or one passes or two passes, everything stays until probate is processed in order to go down the line to complete, the paperwork.
And that is a very Chamorro thing to do too. I mean, it's a Guamanian culture, but specifically Chamorro is you may get your grandparent gives property to your parent, who then gives property to you. The intent is you're not going to build on it. You're not going to sell it off to the military or to be turned into a hotel. The intent is to just pass it from generation to generation to generation, and that's an obligation to you. I know so many families that do that.
Yeah.
So many do, but then so many eventually, depending on the personal needs,
Yeah.
You may need to sell because someone needs the money and the property is there. And although grandfather or grandmother said you can't do this after they've passed, and I've seen it happen where a family want to sell, but they can't because grandpa's still alive. And then they wait till grandpa passes. Then we can decide at that point of how do we handle the property, or how do we divide the proceeds or the sale of this property to the 10 surviving children. So everyone has personal needs, and it's kind of hard to dictate what you do with that piece of property when everyone has individual family needs.
Exactly. And my grandmother's property over in Ordet, one of the reasons why my family values it so much is it sits on Victoriano Street. So it literally is our namesake of that, the property, the street it's named after and everything like that. And, we're very, very proud of that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. And every family, every piece of property is so unique. And so we have to, real estate isn't a one size fits all. We really take into account what's best for the families. What is their ultimate goal? And is selling the property or not selling the property, is that what will achieve your ultimate goal? Because that's important to us as well.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick, Gina, because the good Senator Calvo, had the foresight to basically say, she was crafting this bill in no small part to do with the fact that obviously, when you have a death in the family you're dealing, and you have to go to probate, there's the expense of time, there's the expense of funding that you're going to have to put out to work with a lawyer and then go to court, and then also the emotional cost that's involved with there. And with the large volume of probate cases, as the three of us have talked about so many times in the 10 years we've done the show, do you think that this is going to be a very viable vehicle that a lot of families that don't have their own family attorney can actually use to at least say, this is what I want done with my property when I'm no longer here?
Based on what I read, yes, I thought it was a great alternative for what my friend had in mind. And I'm a kind of a control freak, so the revocable.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, unfortunately, I am. I acknowledge that, but the revocable part of this, that's what said, told me that okay, because Liz and I, we've run into a lot of families who have changed their minds, for one reason or another. Life doesn't stop the minute you do that life estate, right? It continues. And as it continues, you're going to go down different streets, which may require you to make a different decision. And I have had to deal with families who've come in to say, I need to change that deed. And then, like Liz pointed out, we run into complications. And sometimes the complication brings out the ugly in the family, right? Sometimes things happen. You deeded it to a child, and now that child doesn't want to deed it back, and things get ugly. So having the revocable part of the TOD deed, having that revocable part, I think you retain control for whatever reason. And I thought, for me personally, that was important. I said, wow, if I needed to choose, this would be my mechanism. And I'm sure Senator Calvo came across a lot of families that maybe reached out to the legislature, to her, to other people in office. And this was her idea of making that, cutting some costs for these families. Probate is not cheap. I don't care how I don't care what people say. It is not cheap. It's time consuming. The attorneys are overwhelmed sometimes with some of the complicated probate cases. I dealt with one where I helped the family for over 10 years. Yeah, it's tough. So if you have a mechanism like this, it is a fantastic, it's a gift to the community, really. Take advantage of it. If your estate is not complicated, if you've been able to make a decision on what you want to do, take a look at this. Call an attorney friend who might want to just talk it over with you, or call us. We're not going to give you legal advice, but we'll share with you what we think based on how we read the law. And then from there, you could contact the escrow company to do the title report to help you with the documents. And then from that, the escrow company might be able to refer you to an attorney.
Or if you want, you can just have a good cup of coffee and you can watch House to Home on KUAM, because I mean, we've got 549 episodes of this show. 213 of them are on probate. That's how much we care about this topic, and that's how important this topic is to our community.
Yeah, but I just want to point out, the escrow companies have definitely helped. I would reach out to them to say, hey, this particular individual wants to do, let's say, this particular deed to their child, for example. They will refer it to an attorney. And what I like about it is I would say, hey, I need this done. Can you handle it? They'd refer it to an attorney. The document comes back, and then I let the escrow company take the documents and do the recording. Of course, there are fees involved, but I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want you to make any mistakes. So I prefer the expert in the title company to take the documents, make sure they have the right number of copies, that the documents are done properly, and then they take it to land management to get it recorded. So whenever I personally need anything recorded, I don't want to do it myself. I give it, it goes to the attorney, escrow company takes the documentation, make sure everything is in order, get it recorded. I just don't want any missteps where later it could be challenged. So legal documents are important, and the proper recordation process is also very important.
There you go. I mean, I'm not a car person, and whenever I need my car worked on and everything, I always bring it to a mechanic because I want it done right the first time.
That's correct.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of hinted at this, ladies, as we wrap up the show, but if any of you astute, eagle-eyed viewers that just saw like a couple moments ago, I said we've got 549 episodes. Next week is a very big milestone for us because next week will be our 550th episode of House to Home.
Wow.
Very nice.
There you go. Huh? Yeah, let's do something.
They all count.
Celebratory.
Yeah,
show.
and Liz is probably going to be off island next week, so she'll be joining on Zoom. No, we'll get together in real life next week.
That's good.
We'll make it happen.
Okay,
And,
so
can I just have a shout out? If you guys are watching this program and you can find some time to copy and paste it and send it to Senator Calvo, please do that. We want to thank her for her efforts. We did want to interview her personally in the program, but I know how overwhelmed the people of the legislature are. So, it's not an issue at all.
We'll try to get her for next week. Hopefully she'll be free.
There you go. So she could be our guest on the 550th episode. That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
But please send it to her. We want to thank her.
There you go. And we will see you guys next week.
House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Is your child having difficulty walking, talking, playing and learning like other children? As parents, we ask ourselves, what should I be doing? If you are worried about your child's development, the Guam Early Learning Council is here to help. Simply dial 311 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., excluding holidays, to get resources and valuable information.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Claire Calvo, bringing you your weekly renewal. Today, I am here with an old friend, Dr. Benji Santiago, who is, you have a plethora of things under your belt, but you're the founder of Be Fit.
Yes.
You started Nativo Dance Academy years ago.
There's
a lot to talk about. So let's just start with that. Bring us back to the beginning of how you started all of this.
Yeah, so the Nativo Dance Academy is now 30 years old. Can you believe that, my friend? We are 30 years old. We've been serving Guam and its people with quality dance. We've traveled all over the world. We've competed all over the world.
And it's cultural dance.
And it's cultural dance, yes. So we are the Nativo Dance Academy. We have the age demographics from age 4 all the way, I think my oldest dancer is about 65 years old. Yes, yes, and we continue to function as Guam's cultural hub. You know, we focus on being open-minded. We have a growth mindset regarding culture and the acceptance of culture around the world, and just implementing all of these genres of dance into what we call the Natibu Dance Academy.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And so you perform at different events and...
Yes, so public and private functions, but most importantly, what's the big pride in my heart, what brings me joy, is to see that many of my students have gone from keiki class, which is the beginner class, right? They transition all the way through and then they become performers in many of Guam's hotels.
Awesome.
And so just to see that transition, and then many of them become the sergeants of their squads, of their platoons, or what have you in the military, and they write to me, Uncle Benji, thank you so much, because if it wasn't for the discipline, I would not be the drill sergeant that I am today. All of these accolades, and that really makes me happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So share a little bit with us about BFit.
Well, BFit is, okay, so Benji, right? So that's me. So BFit, it was BFitness, but it is BFit. BFitness came out of Paradise Fitness, and now I'm on my own. The pandemic forced us to just make some changes in our lives.
Yes.
And in order to accommodate all of the people that just wanted to still work out, I created BFit. And it is called the BFit Workout Studio. We have a plethora of workout components to include kickboxing, TRX, strength training, cardio, all of that different stuff. And cycling. Yeah, cycling. When I thought about this type of setting, I wanted to create a humble health community. That's what we call ourselves. And this is almost like a cohort. So this humble health community is more like a cohort because they've just become so very territorial about where they belong and who they belong to and who they work out with.
You have a certification coming up that I'm so excited about. Share with us a little bit about Tropics.
Okay, so let me tell you something. So there are those people who were traditionally trained in hula and in cultural dance. And then there are the gym rats, right? There came a time where these cultural dance enthusiasts wanted to be like these gym rats and vice versa. These gym rats, when they become older, wish that they used to dance and they started and they were trained since they were young. Well, there's this gray area, and that's what Natibu Tropics is for. And so the certification, which I'm so happy you're going to take, is a certification for fitness enthusiasts, dance enthusiasts, cultural dance enthusiasts to come together and commingle. For all of those people to take components and teach their own fitness classes with all of those cultural components implemented into those classes. There is a very structured program so that you will not be lost. You'll have all of the fundamentals. We were just talking about compulsories, right? And fundamentals on how important they are. So this certification actually empowers the coaches, because you'll be coaches, right? Dance fitness coaches after. You'll be a legit Natibu Tropics dance fitness coach. You'll get the certificate to prove that. You'll get structured programs and videos so that you can pull from them, and you'll be able to confidently teach those classes. So, and also you belong to a global brand. So I certified almost 85 coaches this past summer in Manila, Seattle, San Diego, Arizona, Connecticut, Colorado, and Virginia.
Wow.
So we have coaches all over.
Thank you so much for joining us. I will see you next week for part 2 with Dr. Benji Santiago.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo's Select Care.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Win one championship, you're celebrated. Win twice, they call you a hero. 3 times. They say words like legend and dynasty. 4, 5, 6 titles. They'll say enough is enough. But when you've won it all 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of Ram trucks. Ram, 7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Half a day, everyone. My name is Janice Carrasco with KUAM News. I am here today at the Northern Region Community Health Center in Dededo, where a nutrition education workshop is being held.
A nutrition education workshop took place this morning, which was hosted by the University of Guam Land Grant Extension. They focus on helping families make healthier food choices and learn simple ways to maintain a balanced lifestyle.
This is the SNAP Ed nutrition program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program education part. So we're from the UOG Land Grant Extension. So basically, we provide free nutrition education workshops on eating healthy and saving money. Yeah, so that's the basics of it.
I spoke with Aisha Ibanez, a nutrition educator with the University of Guam Land Grant Extension, who shared what today's nutrition education workshop was all about.
Well, a lot of the challenges is trying to find meals that are healthy but also not so expensive, right? So like you said, maybe there's certain foods you don't like, but when it comes to recipes that you may find, you can always modify it to what you like. So for example, if it's a stir fry, then, and you don't like celery, for example, you don't have to put celery even though the recipe says celery. You can also use, broccoli or cabbage or whichever. As far as vegetables, fresh vegetables could be expensive, right? And they can spoil fast. But you don't always have to do fresh veggies, especially when you're on a budget. The frozen veggies and canned veggies, canned fruits, frozen fruits, those are also good alternatives if you're trying to eat healthy but you're also on a budget. So yeah, eating healthy and saving money is the challenge these days.
When asked about common nutrition challenges, Aisha shared that eating healthy and being on a budget is a challenge.
One of the lesson topics we discuss is meal planning, right? So maybe there's at least one day out of the week you have a little bit more time to think about what meals you're going to prepare for your family. So we do practice on the different steps to meal planning. So of course the first step is to check your pantry, check what you have so you can use what you already have, and you can try to build a sort of menu at home from what you have. And then you also could make a list of what your kids like, what you like, especially the meals that are one pot, right? One pot, so you can make a whole lot and it can last maybe 3 days or maybe the whole week. So yeah, meal planning is a good way to eat healthy because you're thinking about the health of your family too, right? Eat healthy, but also have meals ready when you need it, right? Instead of going for the convenience items, you already have a pot of soup or maybe a pot of healthy pasta that you can make last throughout the week for your family.
To show that eating healthy does not have to be complicated or costly, Aisha prepared a simple vegetable stir fry to share with her attendees. A quick and affordable meal that families can make at home. So in here,
it's the stir fry that I mentioned. So yeah, it's a vegetable stir fry. For the soupy part, it's chicken broth, but it's the low sodium chicken broth, and there's also some soy sauce in there because we like soy sauce, but it's the low sodium soy sauce because we're trying not to get too much sodium. There's chicken breast in there for your lean protein, and I tried to do 5 different veggies. So the veggies of different colors because the different colors have different vitamins and minerals. So I included onions, cabbage, red bell pepper, frozen broccoli, and